Hello, my name is Rob Grant of Dev, and in this short video I'm going to introduce the module Quantitative Evidence in Development, or QED, which I teach along with my colleague Dr. Paul Clist, also of Dev. Before we get started on the details, I'd like to look at the motivation for looking at quantitative evidence. So why QED? And is it true that at the moment we're living in a post-truth world? Is it true that we can all have our own facts that are going to fit our arguments, and that other people that disagree with us, maybe they have their own facts as well, and it's really hard to use data to know which is which? Or on the other hand, is it the case that data can tell us something useful and tell us something very important and tell us about stuff that really matters? For example, what's been happening with the coronavirus numbers and the implications of the possibility that there's a causal relationship between some vaccines and blood clots. So obviously in QED we think that there is a point to studying data. Data can help us to get at the truth about the world, but we also take a critical look at data, as we'll see later. We don't take everything at face value. So what we think that QED can help you do is to understand the world better, all these important debates and academic debates and world politics debates. More pragmatically, it can help you in your dissertation to use data effectively, get high marks, and also in other bits of coursework that you're doing that involve data. It can open the doors for future study. You'll see that if you apply to master's courses and other courses, often the ability to use data is something that's valued. And as someone that does admissions myself into postgraduate courses, I often look down at what people have done to see, are they going to be a hack working with data to a certain extent and quantitative methods in order to do the particular courses. And then looking beyond studies to the world of employability. In today's world, the ability to use software to understand, interpret and use data is really great for employability. So the aims of this module then are really, the headline aims are twofold. We'd like you to be able to read and understand quantitative research and quantitative data, both as it's used in this sort of situation. Here's the Journal of Development Economics. So we've got things to do with business and firm development in China, war and peace, conflicts in Africa, refugees, all these important issues that we study academically. And all these issues, if these articles, if you dig into them, we're full of quantitative data in this particular journal. So we'll teach you to read and understand the way that data is being used here and the limitations of it. Also natural resource type things, and to understand both in published journals and in the media these important debates to do with separating out the effects of different variables and looking in detail at what we think causes what. So this is a very famous example. So to understand quantitative data used in published research and in the crucial issues facing humanity today. Look at in a bit more detail at the content. Well, broadly speaking, the content is to look at quantitative research design. So if you're setting out to analyse what evidence do we have about an important question, what different factors are there that are involved in that, contributing to it, and how they're related, and a couple of crucial questions: what's causing what? Yeah, we can see that there is a pattern over time. Temperatures increasing, but is human activity causing that? And can we generalize from the small data set that we have? So if I take a small survey somewhere, I find that something's happening in that survey, can somebody else turn around and say, well, that was just one village, you did a survey there, but elsewhere that's not going to hold, or it'll only hold for the 3,000 people you talk to, what about the 18 million people that live in this country? So those kind of questions we can tackle through research design. Now when you get into the nitty-gritty, then you need to have a range of statistical techniques that are going to help you analyze that. And we teach what's called multivariate analysis, which means that's what you need to cope with many, many different factors happening at once, which in the world of social science is basically all the time. You could use a calculator for that, but we give you detailed training in industry standard statistics software, which for us is Stata, the software Stata. And we also try to train you to have a critical understanding of literature. So using quality journals, yes, but also critically thinking about the processes by which that research has been produced and the possible shortfalls that might lead you to have more or less faith in the results of that. And above here it's got a list in more detail, which will mean more to you as you go through it. The week by week topics from this, for those from this year. It'll be very similar to you do. Okay, so the teaching approach, well, we very much hope that we'll be able to bring you the best of both online and face-to-face learning. We very much hope there'll be regular face-to-face learning as normal next year, but we also think we've developed some really excellent stuff during the COVID online experience, which we'll also give to you. So you're hopefully going to get the best of both worlds. So for example, in my lectures, I've prepared detailed instruction videos, which come in this sort of scroll like this, both for lectures and for the stater instructions. And you'll get them in written form, lecture notes, stater instructions, and then every single step is laid out for you in video so you can follow at your own pace. And we also top that up with interactive live sessions every week. So get together, go through the work, ask questions, look at problems. And then Paul has got an amazing way of, in his lecture notes, of embedding them inside a single web page, which is really incredible because you get inside there the lecture notes, you get videos from him, and you also get, as you can see, well, let's see, there's mine, and then onto Paul's here. So he's got lecture notes, the stator code inside here, which is what you'll learn to use. You can copy and paste these commands, put them into your copy of stator, which, although it's very expensive software, it's completely free of charge while you're at UEA. You can use that and install it on your own laptops. Paste that in, see if you can get it to work. Then embedded in the same page, he has articles from literature, which he's teaching you to understand. And sometimes there are also buttons you press which bring up extra hints as well. So we hope that this stuff which we've developed during the online learning experience this year, plus the experience of being back with you guys in the classroom working together, is going to make for a really good combination. I'm just going to have to close this. So let's move on to, oops, if it will let me. The thing which everybody always wants to ask about is assessment. Well, in QED, we go for what's called authentic assessment, which is, instead of teaching you conceptually about how might you like to understand published research and work with data, you do it as if you are doing it for real. So we give you actual published quantitative research, and we ask you to interpret it. What's been going on here? What are these people trying to find out? What data have they used? What methods have they brought to this? What does this stuff mean? What do the answers mean? And what are the limitations of that? Alongside that, we give you a data set, which is not some toy thing, but a really complex data set, which have hundreds or thousands of observations, which you then throw into Stata, which is related to that research article. And you do your own analysis and then tell us what your own analysis gives you, compare it with what the published research gives, and interpret it. And everybody, all of you will have your own sample of data to work with. Now, that's a one-bite thing, which you get a lot of preparation for, which is 100% of the module, but it's fully supported by formative assessment. So you get, before that happens, you get another very similar assessment using exactly the same format. So another article or set of articles to interpret, another data set to work with. And we give you full and detailed feedback on every step of that, plus a chance for question and answers about that afterwards. So when you come to the final assessment, you know exactly what to expect. You're very well prepared. And this is the first time we did this, and it's gone very well. We're very excited about this. So, thanks very much. Under 10 minutes, that's great. I probably haven't covered everything. Thanks very much for watching. Any questions you have outstanding, I think there's going to be a module fair. If you can make that, please come along and ask me questions. Otherwise, there's my email. Always welcome to get in touch with me at any time. I hope to see you in class soon, and thanks for watching.